Let's take a look at figuring percentages. Here we have the percentage 15%. And then so that can be written as a decimal as 0.15. And rewriting 1500ths as a fraction, we would just write 15 over 100. Similarly, if we had 25%, that would be written as 0.25 as a decimal, or 25 hundredths. One more example for you. If we had 50%, that could be rewritten as 0.50, or 50 hundredths. So from the previous screen, we can go ahead and say that to find a percent, we can go ahead and use equivalent fractions where we're rewriting the fraction with a denominator of 100. So if we had the fraction 13/50ths, to find an equivalent fraction there, what we would do is we would multiply the numerator and denominator by 2 so that we can get that denominator to 100. And then 26 hundredths, which as a decimal is 0.26, which as a percentage is 26%. So we have now found that percentage by using an equivalent fraction, and we rewrote the fraction so that it had a denominator of 100. Let's show a few more examples. Here we have two more percentages, and so we have 3/25. Remember, we want to get a denominator of 100. How is it that we can get 25 to 100? We multiply by 4. If we do that in the denominator, we must do the same thing in the numerator, so we also multiply by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 hundredths, which does equal 0.12, also equals 12%. 12 out of 100, 12 hundredths, 12%. 17 twentieths, how do we get from 20 to 100? We multiply by 5. If we do that in the denominator, we better do that in the numerator as well. 17 times 5 is 85. 85 hundredths, which is equal to 0.85, which does equal 85%. And then so that's one way. We want to find that denominator of 100, so that equivalent fraction, so that we can go ahead and figure out the percentage.
Here are two for you to try, where you are to find the percent. Remember, go ahead and find a denominator of 100, an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. Please hit pause. Okay, welcome back. 5 times 20 is 100. 4 times 20 is now 80. So we have 80 hundredths, which written as a percentage is 80%. 27 fiftieths, multiply by 2 in the numerator and denominator to get a equivalent fraction with 100 in the denominator. 27 times 2 is 54, so we have 54 hundredths. Written as a decimal is written that way there. Written as a percentage is 84%. All right, so you're on your way to figuring out percent using equivalent fractions. Again, as a reminder, we need to find that denominator of 100.
Another method is to use division, and then so we would divide the numerator by the denominator to find the decimal. And then so if we had that decimal 3/5, what we would do is we divide the numerator, we divide the 3 by the 5 to find the decimal. Remember, 3 can be rewritten as 3.0. Those are still equivalent. 5 cannot go into 3, but 5 can go into 30 6 whole times, because 6 times 5 is 30. 30 minus 30 is 0, and then we go ahead and count the number of decimal places we have here. We have 1 here. Therefore, we have 1 within our quotient as well. So we have 0.6 for our decimal. And thus we found the decimal now, and then to find the percentage, that would be 60%. 0.6 is equal to 0.60, which would be 60%. We move that decimal place 2 places on over to express that as a percentage. 60 hundredths, or 60%. Again, so this is using division. Let's see another example. Here's that fraction, 3/8. We can read it as 3 divided by 8. And then so let's go ahead and write that out. 3 divided by 8. Okay, 8's our divisor in this case. 8 was our denominator here. And then we can rewrite 3 as 3.0. Those are still equivalent. 3 cannot go into 8, but 3 can go into 30. 3 goes into 33 whole times because 3 times 8 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. And then since we still have 6 here, we're not going to write a remainder, but we'll go ahead and place another 0 so that we can express this as a decimal and bring down another 0. 60 divided by 8 is 7, because 7 times 8 is 56, and 60 minus 56 is 4. Again, we'll bring down one more 0. 40 divided by 8 is 5, because 5 times 8 is 40, and 40 minus 40 is 0, and we are done with our division. We can now express this as a decimal, 0.375, because there are 3 decimal places here. And we were dividing by a whole number. 37.5%. 37.5%. 375 thousandths is 37.5%. Move the decimal place 2 places on over.
Here are a few for you to try. Go ahead and use division for your approach. Hit pause. Use division for your approach. 3 divided by 4. There we've written 3 divided by 4. And here we write 7 divided by 10. 3 divided by 4, 3/4. As a decimal, it's going to be 0.75. And the reason why is as follows. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2. Bring down another 0. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. And 20 minus 20 is 0. 2 decimal places here. That's why there are 2 decimal places in our answer. And we're expressing this as a percentage. So this would be 75%. This one here would be 70%. And the reason why is as follows. 10 cannot go into 7, but 10 can go into 70. That's why we added a 0 there. 7 times 10 is 70, and 70 minus 70 is 0. 1 decimal place within our answer here, and no decimal places because we were dividing by a whole number. Therefore, there is 1 decimal place within our answer there, and 0.7 can be rewritten as 70%. Please take a moment to copy these decimals down, and I want you to go ahead and write them as percentages. Write them as percentages so that 26 hundredths is 0.26 is 26%. Rewrite the rest of them as percentages. Hit pause. All right. Did you get 12.5% for that second one? Did you get 37.5% for the third one?
And then so again, we're moving 2 decimal places on over. And to move 2 decimal places on over, we're going to add a 0 there. So not 9%, but 90%.
9% would have been 0.09.
Okay, that would be 9%. And then so this is decimals to that percentage. So the previous screen, if you worked on all that division, yet you didn't know how to do this, then that's something that we need to keep on working on and continue to learn.
Here's our review. 7/20ths, so we can go ahead and use equivalent fractions. We find that equivalent fraction so that we have hundredths. 20 times 5 there then. That's 35 hundredths. 35 hundredths as a decimal, 0.35. As a percentage, or a percent, is 35%. Now our other method was to use division, and then so if we look at that original problem again, we can read 7/20ths as 7 divided by 20. And then so we'll go ahead and write that out there. 7 divided by 20. And then so we can go write 7 as 7.0. And in this case here, 20 can go into 73 whole times. 3 times 20 is 60. 70 minus 60 is 10. And we add another 0 here to bring down another 0. 100 divided by 20 is 5, because 5 times 20 is 100, and 100 minus 100 is 0, so we are done with our division there, and we've made that decimal. So we have this decimal 0.35, and as a decimal 0.35 as before is expressed as 35%. So again, there's two methods. One of them is to find that equivalent fraction, where it is that you're looking for that denominator of 100, and the other method is to use division. And then so to find a decimal, and then we know how to write a percentage for that decimal. Move that decimal place 2 places back on over. And so that's how it is that we can go ahead and convert these to percent and percentages.